What's going on, my broskies? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Now, in this video, we are going to be talking about the upcoming Blitz battle. I know some people are a little confused as to the event and what they should be doing in terms of preparing for this event. So in this video today, we're going to be going through all the information that we can compile and discuss a type of team that you can build against this first part of the Blitz battle. If you guys don't know, the Blitz battle will be split into 3 separate parts. Let me pull up the website real quick. So the 3 different parts for this particular Blitz battle, you've got mission 1, which is for 2 days, mission 2 also for 2 days, and then mission 3 is also for 2 days. Now mission 2 you can kind of disregard because you only have to play that event 3 times per day. That's not really a hardcore farming event, but missions 1 and 3 are hardcore farming Blitz battle events. Now for the first part of the event, there is 3 different bosses. You've got Speed, Hold'em, and Hawkins, and Speed and Hold'em are very, very easy. Like, they are just ridiculously easy. Anyone will be able to beat them with any generic team most of the time, I would really think anyway. Hawkins, on the other hand, is much more difficult. He has a lot of HP, he has a lot of gimmicks that you have to try and work around. So in this video today, we're going to talk about Hawkins. I'm not really going to be talking about Speed and Hold'em that much just because they are ridiculously easy. Let's talk about Hawkins though. Now also, we have to give out a huge shout out to Imset for posting this article. I'll leave links to everything in this video down below in the video description if you guys want to go check them out for yourself. So this particular website that Imset, my man, has gone ahead and compiled some information for us in terms of the boosted list and what the bosses do. So this is a list of all the characters that you are aiming to use in this event. Obviously, all of the new batch are going to be boosted, and all of the quote-unquote good guys from Wano Kuni are all boosted here as well. So you've got the waifu batch is also here with Nami and Komurasaki. You've got the Chopper and the Brook, the new Otama that was free to play, the new April Fool's straw hats are also available here as well. Colosseum Shuten Maru and Kiyoshiro are all here. Treasure Map Robin. Like, there's a bunch of good characters here. And obviously, if you did pull and get those new batch characters, that is going to help out a lot, specifically Usopp and Carrot. Having those two is going to make your life a whole lot easier for this event. But if you didn't pull them, then yeah, obviously you're going to have to make some compromises there, and we'll talk about that in this video. So let's go ahead and get into it. So again, this is a website this is an officially released Japanese website when this event was out on JP during like the first couple of weeks of January. And you can actually see that our boosted list is actually much bigger than Japan's, which is kind of interesting that they've done that. So Global does have a little bit of an easier time in terms of building a point boosting team. Now, the first boss is against Speed. Let's go over to the English translation here by Imset, which gives us a little bit more information. So Speed is the easiest boss. You can farm all of these 3, by the way. If we go over to the official website, there is a ranking for each of these 3 for mission 1 only. So Speed, Hold'em, and Hawkins, depending on which one you want to rank in on, you can rank in on all of them if you want. There are rewards given for each particular prize pool, but I think the hardcore players are mainly going to be focusing on Hawkins, but we'll briefly discuss the other bosses. So Speed only has 330,000 HP. Like, she is not very strong. She doesn't attack for very much either. And she'll go ahead and have a preemptive of changing her own type into Quick to Dex instead, so she's a Dex unit. 99 turn delay protector, 2 turns of resilience, and also your crew is inflicted with 1 turn of paralysis. Literally, if you have Zoro and Luffy as your friend captain, you can just launch their special and it will 100% kill this unit. So yeah, just run Luffy, Zoro, friend captain. That's going to be more than enough. Now Hold'em is the secondary boss here. Hold'em right here. He has 1.1 million HP. He actually attacks for a lot, but he does have a 3-turn cooldown, which is good. So what does Hold'em do? So he'll have a preemptive of 99 turn delay immunity. Your bottom row units are binded for 5 turns, so having it, you know, with max sockets, it's only 2 turns. You get a full board of block orbs as well. You get poison for 3,000 damage per turn and halves your chain for 4 turns. So because he halves your chain, running a Zoro Luffy friend captain once again is going to make it much easier because he gives you a chain lock, he gives you an orb boost. So running a team around the Luffy and Zoro is going to be the most optimal way to get through this. Alternatively, if you are wanting to be that guy and you don't want to run a full point boosted team, you could literally just run a friend captain Kaido, and that's going to be more than enough damage to clear both Speed and Hold'em just with 1 friend Kaido. Like, you can just do that and then run the rest of your team with point boosters. That's also a pretty valid strategy against Speed and Hold'em if you want to do that, because yeah, Kaido's damage will just be too much for these characters. They just don't have that much health. But then we move on to Hawkins, which is a whole different kettle of fish because he has 35 million HP. He attacks for 10,000 every single turn. His preemptive attack we'll go ahead and state he gives himself a 99 turn debuff protector. He randomly shuffles your orbs with block included. Now it's weird because I've actually watched some footage here. This is a Japanese player. This is the #1 ranking player on JP on this event, Snafkin. Shout out to Snafkin. I'll leave a link to his channel down below in the description. And he actually has a full playthrough video with the characters that he used for this event. So he is using obviously heavy pay to win team with Sobermask and Luffy Azor as the subs here. You got the new rare recruit carrot as well. This Okiku. So you can see the first 2 stages are just simple mob stages. Stage 3 against this Hawkins, he has about 1 million HP, maybe 1.2, 1.3, something like that. And you can see that with his preemptive attack, he's going to paralyze your entire team for 2 turns. He gives you a full board of tandem orbs as well. So if you have Sobermask or Luffy and Zora as your friend captain, that's going to be obviously very beneficial. And he locks them for 2 turns. So the fact that he locks those orbs as well is very big. But either way you look at it, you can use Sobermask or Luffy and Zora. I would suggest Luffy and Zora because instead of getting tandem slots, you'll get the Wano slots instead, which are much better. Because if you kill both stage 3 and stage 4 in 1 turn, you'll keep those Wano slots for the final boss room, and on the final boss room he manipulates your orbs, but if you got Wano orbs he doesn't manipulate them, of course. So that's what I'd suggest, running a Luffy Zora friend captain here. He changes into a strength unit on this stage as well, which will make it a little more challenging, but he doesn't have like that much HP. It's around 1 million to 1.5 million. I can't really tell off the bat like how much he actually has, but it's nothing too crazy. Stage 4 is another version of Hawkins here. I forget what did he despair? Yeah, he despairs for 5 turns, goes down to 2 turns with sockets, and he becomes a Dex unit. So in this situation, if you have Luffy and Zora friend captain, you would switch into the Luffy character in this circumstance, so you can get the most damage output. This carrot removes despair as well as applies the color affinity boost, of course, which is very good. And then obviously you can just go ahead and take him down in one fell swoop. Now the final boss stage against the Hawkins, which we can actually go ahead and talk about right now, is the random slot where it says block included. It's weird because I did see some footage of this, and it looked like he gave you bomb orbs instead. We see bomb orbs here. There's empty orbs. Maybe there's block orbs included as well. I'm not 100% sure. That could be the case. But remember, if you have those Wano slots and you keep them for this room, they won't be removed, which is very good. So keep that in mind when you are trying to build a team for this, which we will talk about in a minute. So what else does he do? He also halves your chain for 4 turns, but of course, if you have Luffy Azora special, you get the chain lock. Defense up for 2 turns. So you want a unit that can remove that. We will talk about this as well. He also puts up a counter, right? So that means on attack, he reflects 1% of the damage that he received. Basically, if you do damage to him and you don't kill him, that counter will kill you pretty much. So be very careful about that. So let's talk about what you can kind of aim to build against this Basil Hawkins boss fight, right? So this is obviously what you want to be starting with. You want to be starting with a Luffy and Zora friend captain. I'm sorry to say, you know, it is what it is. The boss has 35 million HP. You want to be running the boosted units, of course. Now, what else can you run on top of this? Now, remember on the final boss fight, he has 2 turns of blue shield defense. The best character, I've already gone through and tried and build some stuff, but this Wano Law is actually boosted in this event. We can go ahead up to the boosted list once again. This Wano Law is boosted, and he has the special ability which can actually remove the blue shield by 2 turns. And he's also a Dex unit, and he's a slasher, so it works perfectly for this team. Then we need to run some other stuff. So what else does he do again? Just to get a quick refresher. The random orb shuffling, of course, we want to try and keep Wano slots from the previous room. Halves your chain, that's fine, and the defense up. So basically at this point, we have everything that we could possibly require in order to get around any debuffs. Now we want to try and fill the team with other units that we may need. Now, I definitely highly suggest running this Okiku. Where is it? Okiku from the Kizuna Clash, because you can use her special ability on stage 3 to remove the paralysis that gets inflicted to your team. So you definitely want to have this character on your team. Now, that's also really good. Remember on stage 4 though, you get despaired for a few turns. Now that despair is going to be quite annoying. When you actually have a look at the boosted list once again, in terms of characters that can remove that despair, you can use like the switch ability of Luffy and Zora to remove 1 turn of despair. You could have some other unit on your team. Like honestly, like if you're in this situation and if you have Corazon as a support character, if you put that on this law, you're going to remove the despair guaranteed. So that's best case scenario. But in a hypothetical situation, if you don't have Corazon Corazon support, you could run someone like this Fortnite Osuru, who is boosted, which will give you additional points, but also removes Despair by 2 turns. So that is an option. So we can leave that in here for now, but obviously is not the most ideal option. And at this point, we just need to run like some type boosters or something like that. So now the thing about it is that the boosted list is not great, right? It's not the best boosted list in the game that we've ever had for any event. So there aren't really too many good captain units that you can really run. Now, in my opinion, what I think is the best way to go about it is to just use the, not double Luffy Zoro, of course, Zoro and Sanji from the Kizuna Clash. Now, I know not everyone is going to have this guy completely maxed out, but if you've got his cooldown at a reasonable value, you could definitely use this guy as a captain. We'll go through a replacement for him in a minute, but if you have also the new Colosseum unit, Shuten Maru, he is very, very good because he is boosted, he's a dex unit, and he's a slasher. Now, this Osuru is a free spirit unit, so she's going to be boosted by Luffy and Zoro, but of course, this dual unit, Zoro and Sanji, will not boost the Osuru, which doesn't really matter too much. She's not going to be a heavy damage dealer. But in this situation, we want the full board of Wano slots moving into the final boss fight. And then, of course, we're going to be using the Luffy Tower and Zorojuro special. Now, if you have been attacking effectively, you should have easily have consumed 15 Wano slots, which gives you the 2.75 times multiplier. And then you might be taking damage. I'm pretty sure you'll have to take some damage in order to stall for his special. So we'll go ahead and use the Zoro and Sanji special, which does give us the 39.7 million damage. Now, obviously, if you have cotton candies on these characters as well, that damage will only go up. But of course, that's going to be a lot of damage, right? 39 million. That's going to be more than enough to take down Hawkins. You've got Law special to also remove the blue shield. Don't forget to activate that. So that is a lot of damage. But of course, if you've already got the support unit of Legend Corazon attached to that Law to remove the Despair on stage 4, you could replace this Otsuru with whatever you want. You could run another boosted unit like Kiyoshiro, right? Kiyoshiro is another boosted unit that you could run. It doesn't really anti-damage that much, but it's another slasher unit that can work and just gives you more points, right? So that is another option. So what if in a hypothetical situation you don't have your Kizuna, Zoro, and Sanji maxed out? What's a good replacement for him? Now, another unit that you could use is literally just Raid Zoro. Like, Raid Zoro is a pretty decent option, and of course, remember, because we did lose out on the attack boost, we can use Shuten Maru instead. And then if you've stalled for the Zoro special, you can use his special ability to give you a color affinity boost, and that will give you more than enough damage as well. So that is just another option that you could contemplate into building a team. I do think that running the Zoro Sanji captain is much better though, but that's just my personal opinion. You can run obviously whatever you like. I do think that that is a little better, so that's going to be with that boost right there. But either way, either of those options do work. Then again, now that I'm thinking about it, running Raid Zoro as the captain is actually not a terrible idea, because the thing about it is on stage 3, when you're against that Hawkins, he is a strength unit, and there are no quick units on this team, except for that captain being Zoro. So there's that. That is a thing that you can really think about as well. So either of those options would work against this Basil Hawkins boss fight. Obviously, if you have any of these other units on the boosted list, they could help you out a lot. Like this Okiku is a color affinity booster for quick and int, so that's not the best unit, but it is an option. This Nami isn't that good either for this boss fight because he does have a full immunity buff. This Bone Kichi, this Brook unit removes Despair, so if you don't have like a support unit to remove the Despair, this Bone Kichi is another decent option. I do still suggest running this Zoro and Luffy 100%, and if you have Okiku maxed out, you should definitely run that as well because of the 1.5 orb boost, like 1.5 stat boost, which is just so good, right? So it is annoying that this boosted list is super duper restrictive, but you know, you gotta make do with what you have, right? So I think that this is probably one of the better options in terms of pure free to play. The thing is like running the host ship. Make sure to get that host ship if you haven't bought it already in the unlockable quest to get that additional cooldown reduction at the start of the fight. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you'll get 10 turns of cooldown reduction, and also with sockets and everything, 10 turns of cooldown reduction by the time you reach the final boss fight. And once you're cooldown, you're on a 15-turn cooldown, so you need to stall 5 turns throughout the run before you reach the final boss fight in order to make sure that Zoro is ready for that final boss. So that's not too bad against those mini-boss stages. You have to take a few hits, but it's not overly terrible. And also, during those stages where you are stalling, you can definitely try and consume some Wano slots to try and get yourself ready for the final boss fight. So there we go. That's a quick rundown of the upcoming Blitz Battle event against the Basil Hawkins. There will be part 3 of the event, as I said. you know, the part 3 of the event is going to be against Kaido instead. I'm going to make a separate video about that in the coming days after the first part has concluded, because talking about Kaido, he is way more difficult. There's lots more stuff you have to take into consideration, so we'll get to that once that eventually comes out. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video today, and if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Make sure you go do that, because we are trying to reach 50,000 subscribers very, very soon. It would be awesome if you could help us achieve that. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.